Hello everybody, it is Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. Hi, if you haven't met me before, hi, my name is Rachel Dunn. I like to make videos, and today we're going to be talking about a dopamine detox, what it is, what my results are like, and how I was inspired to do this. So basically, if you don't know what a dopamine detox is, it's where you take around 7 days. Mine lasted around 5. Broke a little early, I have to admit. And you take like 5 to 7 days, 7 days. You take 7 days to basically cut out things that are just like easy dopamine rewards within your life. So say for instance, within my case, what I chose to do and what most people do with the dopamine detox is they detox from social media. So I detoxed from social media for 5 days. Now, what does this mean for me? I do social media and marketing for a living for myself. I'm an entrepreneur, so it was kind of hard for me to do this, but I found a week where it was like kind of manageable. I will say I did still end up posting on my story some. And I did still end up looking at certain things on social media that I needed to look up. But if I did so, I did that with the intention of doing it very quickly. Now, another thing about dopamine detox. Say for instance you're looking up a video on YouTube, you're not supposed to just like scroll through your recommendations and be like, oh, what's next, right? You go for what you're looking for, you look at what you're looking for, you don't click on the recommended videos. This is another suggestion. I was personally inspired to do this dopamine detox by Iman Gadzhi. If you don't know who he is, he's a famous entrepreneur that is very into the like space of basically like kind of like innovating entrepreneurs, helping them set up agencies, which is cool. He's super dope and cool looking. Handsome. So anyways, you cannot tell I like Iman Gadzhi. Anyways, I was just scrolling on YouTube one night, and I was like, hey, like dopamine detox, what is this? I was looking at some of his other videos. I basically like stumbled across it and I was like, okay, this sounds like something that could really benefit me. Basically the essence of it is you're supposed to basically like delay your gratification. So when we have all these little things in our lives like social media that make it super easy for dopamine to go off in our brains, or say for instance we're like just always getting instant gratification from little things, eating a lot of sugar, just doing things that you know that aren't the greatest for you. I know a big one for guys is like looking at the internet, if you catch my drift, which is just not a thing that I do, but apparently for y'all guys, and I turned southern suddenly, it's a thing. And our society has become so incredibly focused on this that it's hard to get that motivation to really do things, I guess, is the reasoning behind this dopamine detox. Now, okay, so here are the parameters, like I said. So I did no social media. If I went on social media, I did post things sometimes. I did occasionally look at people's profiles, but it was like, say for instance I had to do something for work, I would just search it and then I would just like not like scroll through my feed. B, I tried to cut out like as much sugar as I could. There are other things that you could cut out, but honestly those are like the two main things that I did. And yeah, so here's what I noticed from my dopamine detox. So immediately, like the first day, I was like, I found myself instituting within my own business and within my own life, finding systems to solve like longer term problems, and I found myself thinking more in the longer term. So what does this mean? So I was more so thinking about my longer term goals. I became more aware of where I was and became more dissatisfied with it, in the sense of like, okay, well, what's next? Like, what big thing? Like I've traveled a lot of places in my life. I've done a lot of things and had a lot of really cool experiences at a pretty young age, and I feel like lived abroad for like multiple months at a time, and like now I'm like, okay, I'm getting bored. Like I was finding myself mindlessly scrolling, to be honest, I feel like to fill a void within myself, like when it came late at night. I found this like post from I think it's like Mudwater, and they said I'll like put it here, I'll like insert it if I can, but like doom scrolling basically like substitutes for like social interaction. It's funny because I found myself like wanting to connect with people more. That's another thing, is like over the course of this past like week, I think I stopped this dopamine detox maybe like 4 days ago, but like over the course of this past week I have met with more people than I normally do, like a lot, like even if it's for business, like going out, you know, to cafes or going out to dinner. I definitely have been interacting with people more and like craving that genuine interaction and not just like getting it over a screen. That's another big thing. Another thing, I found myself finding all of the things that had been putting off for a long period of time, and honestly this is even after the dopamine detox ended. I found myself finding all of those things and actually making steps to accomplish those things now. So like before, I feel like there's almost like some sort of like block around like me doing them for some reason. I don't know what it was, but like now it's like, okay, here are all the things I've been putting off for a while, like I'm gonna do them all, and it feels really good. And so yeah, I like that. I also find myself thinking from a perspective of like, okay, how can I make this better, instead of just like thinking about my problems like, oh, it's like more of like a masculine way of like thinking about things like, okay, here's my problem, what's my solution. It's not like I'm just dwelling on problems more, so it's like, okay, what can I do to innovate this, to change this. I also see myself thinking longer term in the future, like, okay, like how do I want to set myself up for success in the future. So that's really helpful as well. I also notice myself motivated to read a lot more. I don't know if that's because I've just been like reading a lot, or I'm enjoying the books that I'm reading, or maybe because I've been influenced by a lot of people that read a lot, and I do enjoy reading a lot, but like I've just noticed that that passion for reading has come back, and I see it like serving me in my like everyday life in just like different ways, and that's maybe another video. I also see myself as having like a lot more positive of an attitude, and I feel like my energy is a lot more like focused on myself than it is on all of these other things and other perspectives that other people have, which I'm not a fool anymore, but at the same time, because I think sometimes fools are like, oh, like I'm not gonna take advice or criticism from anyone, I'm gonna just do everything my own way. I don't feel that way anymore. I think I was a fool for a while. But that being said, I think like if you're not scrolling on social media all the time, sure, you can learn things from it, and I think it's valuable for that, but sometimes I think our energy can just be pulled so many different ways when we're always on social media, and your energy goes where your attention flows, or something like that, like, you know. So I think that it really brought a lot more attention back to me instead of looking outside. I've been looking inside a lot more recently. Okay, one last and final thing, and in the interest of keeping this video short, I feel like that's pretty much all I wanted to mention. Besides this, I will say, as far as Iman Gadzhi's like dopamine detox, I've been following his dopamine detox, and now I'm starting on his monk mode, and like I would say that I'm altering it a little bit because of the fact that I'm a woman and I like to go with the flow and run my life a little bit more with the flow, and things tend to work out for me a little bit better when I go with the flow sometimes. That's not to say I don't still try to accomplish all of his objectives that he has, but I would say I'm not as strict about them, but I am pretty like strict for the most part. I will probably make a video about monk mode in the future. But anyways, I think dopamine when it comes to women as opposed to men is very different. I think women maybe need pleasure in their lives a little bit more than men do. Honestly, that's my thinking. And like me trying to make myself like, I don't know, stick to something like super hardcore like a man, like sometimes makes me feel a little bit masculine. Like I think women need a little bit more pleasure in their lives. I think for women, pleasure can actually motivate them. That is a contrary opinion, but I think that sometimes when you get a little bit of pleasure, then it can help you have motivation and like carry that energy and that feeling through whatever it is that you're doing. So that is like my only critique about the dopamine detox when it comes to the women, and just like a more style of running your business or doing a cleanse or whatever it may be, a monk mode, whatever that is for you, even if you're not an entrepreneur. Like, I just think that women tend to need a little bit more pleasure. That's just me. I know this taught me to look for pleasure in areas other than scrolling through TikTok, which I have been doing too much lately. So yeah, if you guys like this video, if you like the video, do not forget to give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button down below so you know when I'm posting. Oh, click that little bell so you know when I'm posting too. Yeah, overall, Iman Gadzhi's Dopamine Detox, I'm so happy I did it. I'm so happy this man gives back so much of his wisdom to people on the internet. And yeah, we'll definitely have to do it again. But I'm already feeling the effects of it still, even though I only did it for a week and it's been like almost a week later. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until the next time, peace.